Hey, how's everybody doing? This is JJ with Deluxe Vehicle Detailing and Paint Correction here at the home shop in beautiful Seminole, Florida. I've got this 2016 Harley Davidson Softail. It's a heritage classic. It's got some letters that go along with it. I'm not too concerned about at this moment. But what I want to share with you today is when detailing a motorcycle, whether it's a client's or whether it's your own personal bike, don't forget that you want to get some areas that maybe don't see the light of day very often. Maybe there's some rust and corrosion building up, some dirt that will attract moisture, which will then add to further, rusting problems down the road. Maybe it's light, but if you take care of it and, I'm saying maybe every few washes if it's your own bike, you want to take the seats off and do kind of a deep clean. I'm going to give you just some tips and ideas. I'm going to show you one, way to get into some tight areas that maybe you haven't looked at before, or maybe if you're a professional detailer, you want to, step up your service and go, hey, you know what? I went ahead and took the seats off your bike. First thing I'm going to mention is when you take the seats off, sure, everybody's going to clean the top of the leather, but is everybody going to get in here? This leather is stretched on these hangers, right? And this has got some pressure on it because in the factory it was wrapped around these. There's some tension. And you want to make sure that you clean and condition the back sides of this is the sissy seat. This is the regular seat. And you want to just make sure that you get in here, get tight, get some cleaners and conditioners. Doesn't see the light of day, probably doesn't get washed very often. This bike, I have a feeling probably since 2016, I've seen some areas that probably haven't seen the light of day or any cleaning for 4 years. So you just want to make sure you get into some of these. This bike is pretty darn well cared for. I've actually detailed the entire bike. The client is coming to pick the bike up today. And I just wanted to, excuse me, take this opportunity to remind you that, you want to get in here. I've got a little side light here, help brighten things up. So you just want to get in here and make sure that you do a thorough wipe down of everything. I used my O&R cleaner. This is a film here. This isn't dirt. There is a film that goes over the paintwork so that the seat, the sissy seat, whatever you want to call it, is not rubbing on the paintwork. And it's, obviously really quick and easy since on motorcycles you've got to be able to get to the battery and the electronics and things. So there's just basically on this particular bike 2 thumb attachments that hold the main seat down here, and then all you have to do is have a fairly long big flathead get behind the backrest and take this screw off, and bam, there's just kind of a little holder bracket on the back part, and it fits into the front part. Front part pops right up. Takes, literally probably 30 seconds to take the seat off. Why wouldn't you want to clean? And I'm going to show you a very good example. Not only are there parts like, the top of this chrome that you can't see or reach when the full seat, because it's very thick, is on this, but also chrome parts like this, this is actually started to get because of not being clean, not being taken care of, probably some moisture sitting on here. I have kind of polished this out, and I do have a little bit of, the beginnings of some deterioration. A product that I like to use, which leaves a great film coating of, kind of an oil, kind of a penetrator, kind of a rust destroyer, is Eagle One. Again, I'm showing you something that's, retail, very easy for all of you to gather. I imagine Amazon carries it. If not, you can find it in an auto parts store. And it's a wadding material. This is what is inside. And you just break off whatever piece you want. Just tear it out of there. It's kind of on a big roll when you first open the can. You can tell that can's been with me for a while. For some reason, the cans get really rusty fairly easily. I am going to order myself a new part. So anyway, so here's the little tip and trick, right? I'm going to try and get some better lighting in here. So here we have this seat bracket, and we have the area in between the bracket. Try and get you a few different angles. My lighting is probably not doing justice, but you see where I'm talking about. Now, look on this side that I haven't cleaned. Try and get you the proper lighting. See? Oh, there's a good shot of it. See all that, beginnings of corrosion, little rust buildup? I'm sure that hasn't been cleaned ever. I'm pretty positive when I say that. And I am going to, let's see if I can just keep a little light on that area. Yeah, that should look pretty good. So this is what I call my toothbrush trick, and I use this in a lot of different applications. Like he has some rusting going on behind the fairing bracket, and he's actually told me, he goes, don't worry about all these bolt heads, things like that. He said, I'm gonna get all new chrome bolt heads, take the fairing off, and do this. Well, he's got some rust buildup, and so I have used this old toothbrush, fairly long, fairly thin, to hold this wadding on and be able to reach down deep, right? So that's a great, I'm going to leave it on there actually till he actually does that himself, and that way the rusting that he's got going, it's going to keep on penetrating and eating. So let me see if I can capture this view. So you can take this toothbrush and rub back and forth. There's no possible way you can reach this with your hands. You can bring it up. Probably not getting that here. There's better. You can bring it up and get the sides of the back, the bottom of this little plate. You can just kind of work it in, right? Both sides. Give me just a moment to get that back fixed. So yeah, here's from the back side, and you can again really kind of scrub, work it in the tight spot, and get to those areas that your client may appreciate the fact, even though you're going to put the seat back on before he or she picks up the motorcycle, and they're never going to know, right? But you might point that out to them that, hey, I went ahead and got some of these really tight areas that I noticed had not been taken care of. It's very easy then. You want to buff off the excess. Forgive me here while the toothbrush, this is good and bad. The toothbrush grabs the wadding, so it's not going to slide around. Then you can come back with the toothbrush and buff and remove all the excess oils from both sides there. Get up on the back of that chrome plate that no one will ever see, no one will ever notice. But, if you're detailing your own motorcycle, you want long-term preservation. You don't want, rust starts to form, moisture grabs into some of those dirt particles. Let's take a look at the after. I think I had that lighting pretty good before, but let me try one more thing. Bear with me. Maybe the correction light will help put some light on that. So you saw the before, now nice and clean, right? So again, take the extra step, take the extra 5-10 minutes, hit some of these areas that with the seat on you're not going to be able to get to, and you're going to have just a better effect overall, right? Good time to give me the thumbs up. Video is about over. Not over yet. I want you to share. I want you to like. I want you to comment. I want you to please hit the notification bell. Bing! And most of all, I'd like you to pause after I finish talking, hit the subscription button so you're subscribed to my channel so that you get great videos, tips, tricks, reviews, just all kinds of things, everything involving vehicles and the beautification, preservation, restoration of all of the above. And then you'll be set and you'll be part of my channel, and that's what I really appreciate. Thank you very much. Enjoy making your vehicles beautiful.